welcome everyone to our episode 40 of Drops of Wisdom. In today's episode, which is the one of the short episodes that we are going to be spacing out every 15 days as the beginning of October, that's the changes that we are going to see, but the videos, the podcast are going to be deeper and with more information for you to reflect, for you to think more, for you to be more awakened and to work in these five pillars. And in today's episode, we are going to review a book about raising a secure child. And the authors is Ken Hoffman and others. And why is it important to review a book for children? Because as adults, we all have these past childhood experiences that are constantly, many times, giving us a lot of turmoil, a lot of patterns, a lot of limiting beliefs, a lot of things that are just there, but you are afraid to work on. And this is going to make resonance with you if you start relating it to when you were educated or how you were educated. We are not doomed to repeat the same mistakes. Breaking the Toxic Generational Cycle is the title, and as we are not doomed to repeat those cycles, we can break this circle of generations that are unsecure, that are not being able to have resilience, and that are not maturing in the right terms, sort of saying, or having this confidence to do whatever they want with their lives, and they keep relying on their parents. Why is this happening? Why are we seeing those kind of crystal generations that are more prone to fail and not being able to succeed or to get up and just go with life? Because that is life. Life is falling and learning from the mistakes and learning from the failures. So as we are not doomed to make these mistakes as our parents, that they did their best with what they had, the patterns and the limiting beliefs, generation after generation, simply by paying attention to small unconscious stress or negative energy that you are bringing to your interactions with children, is what you can always make a world of difference just by paying attention to your own emotional resonance, emotional vibration. Being aware of your own mood many times is just enough to heal your children. Once a child is born, it is programmed to latch onto the list at least one individual they can rely on to understand and respond to their needs. This is called finding a secure attachment. And according to the psychological model of this attachment theory, it may be the single most important step to achieving a physically, you heard me correctly, physically and emotionally healthy life. Attachment theory was developed in the 20th century by psychologists who recognize that babies have an innate biological need for emotional comfort. Psychologists have also come to see a child's secure attachment as the foundation of both physical and emotional health. And as this week or last Monday was the World Mental Health Day, it is extremely important to understand this, how this mental health is completely linked to our emotional performance and emotional health. When attachment is insecure, a baby's primary needs can go unmet, causing stress. This, this leads to the body producing the stress-related hormone cortisol, which causes systems within the body to slow down and become less effective because you are under the sympathetic response of stress and you are taking things as a threat. One such system that is being damaged by this stress is the metabolism, which, when slowed down, causes an increase in the abdominal fat. So just pay attention to this, how the stress, how the cortisol that sometimes you are producing with the unsecure attachment with your child is turning out to be something that is going to lead your child to be in obesity or to not regulate properly the insulin sensitivity. The immune system will also be affected, resulting in a lowering of defenses to viruses and diseases. So, bacterial, viruses, any kind of toxin can be damaging if your child is under stress. Cortisol is also known to damage memory and cognition. So, other two side effects, your memory and your learning skills. In addition to this health risk, a secure attachment can also affect the framework for a child's future relationship. Studies have shown that with stable, secure attachment, children show a greater ability to empathize and form secure relationships as adults. This is also seen as a strong indicator of long life. Studies worldwide have shown that socially isolated people are twice as likely to meet a premature death than those who are socially integrated. So, helping your children to really have this empathy and this secure attachment, helping them to do good relationship by showing also the example that you are with people that are encouraging you and that are helping you, and also getting away from people that is toxic or setting the boundaries when you need to set boundaries is the best example that you can give them to create this confidence in them, because they are going to see you how you act in these relationships, how do you relate with certain people, and how it is not okay to let some people just pass all over you. So this is the expression of a health attachment. The authors develop the circle of security. This offers a framework for parents and caregivers to build secure attachments while balancing the dual needs of comfort and autonomy. The metaphor of the circle reflects this balance, and it can be a useful tool to help any caregiver to get an accurate idea of what their child needs from them. So this is going to be an extremely good example that can also be applied to adults. To use the circle of security, picture it as the face of the clock, with the 9 o'clock position being a secure base. So that is your starting point to give your child this security or safety. Where your child lives and your hands and begins their clockwise journey while exploring. Until they complete this journey of exploration and they return to your side, there are things that you can do, like watching over them and showing a willingness to help them explore that will allow them to continue feeling safe. Just by watching you, they are going to feel secure. Since this process happens whenever a child leaves the secure base, complete journeys around the circle of security can happen multiple times a day, even multiple times per hour. Once the child finishes exploring and travels back toward your care, this time you are representing more of a safe haven. So, by being you the figure of safety, but not the source of safety, they are going to experience this confidence. That's the difference. They already feel that safety with themselves because you allow them to do things for themselves. You were just being close to them. You were being just the presence of them that they need to validate their safety in those ages. And they need to feel free to do three things: protection, comfort, and appreciation. If you close these three, you are going to create really, really secure and confident children and adults. Imagine taking your 3-year-old to a playground where she might leave your side to play in a sandbox, or he might do that. Which is the move toward exploring? This is the first step. But after a few minutes, she or he will look in your direction and start to feel the need for reassurance just by looking at you. That's it. Or if they want help, they will call you so that you can explore with them. If children only require comfort and attention, parenting would be pretty easy. That's not the end of the story. But there are points at the top and at the bottom of the circle that also they need attention. When children are moving to the 3 o'clock position, from secure base to requiring your watchful care, they are busy exploring their environment, but still need your support during this time. There are 4 ways to meet the needs of your child while they are exploring. First, they will need you to watch what they are doing, just watching. A while, and you are watching, you will need to know when to get involved and when to support their independence. That's on you. That's when are you going to intervene in whatever they are doing, or if you just allow them to see you and feel safe. If your daughter or your son is climbing a ladder at the park, you may feel like helping, but sometimes the best move is to let them be and encourage them self-reliance. Children also need to be delighted in, to be comforted, and not just when they achieve something. So this is extremely important. They need to feel that you love them no matter what is the result of what they are doing. When your daughter reaches the top of the ladder, celebrate with her or with him. But remember, she gains self-esteem because you delight in her or in him, and not just in the achievements. The third need is to enjoy activities alongside with him or her, without directing. Whenever possible, make sure to join with games and exploration. Also take into account the need for comfort by showing empathy, but not overdoing it. If your son says he was scared during his first day at school, offer comfort with a sympathetic face, reassuring words, and gentle contact. You can probably tell him or tell her a story where you also remember that you were also afraid in your first day of school. Once again, you should tend to their need to feel delighted in by smiling when you see them and avoiding any behavior that could make them feel unwanted or rejected. The last need is to organize their feelings, which is a way of teaching them to understand emotions that can be confusing early on. If you can understand your emotions, how do you expect that your child is going to understand them if they don't know what they are feeling? They just know that they are moving their feet quickly. They just know that their heart is racing. They just know what they are feeling, but they don't know the emotion. They don't have association yet for the emotion. So teaching them about this, and it is worth reminding yourself that no parent is perfect. Remember that your stress, your anxiety is going to be reflected on them, and they are going to pick up that kind of energy. Everyone gets tired, everyone gets stressed, preoccupied, or anxious, which means you don't always need to respond perfectly or pick up the cues of the child. You are also human, and allow them to see you make mistakes, because allowing them to see you, how do you react under certain circumstances, it's going to help them to know how to react, how to behave, and what to do in certain circumstances. The authors have a term for when you miss a chance to respond to your child's needs. It is called rupturing the circle. However, making a mistake can be a chance to improve the bond with your child as long as you're willing to fix it. In fact, fixing this rupture of the circle can be more beneficial than avoiding the rupture entirely. Because if you are avoiding things, if you are trying to be perfect, you are just going to pass along this kind of anxiety to them, and they are also going to be reflecting that need to be perfect. We are humans, we are also going to make mistakes, but we can learn from mistakes. We can get up, we can also set boundaries, we can also pick up the friendships and the relationships that we are being nurtured by. That's the example that we should be playing with them. Parents often have difficulties acknowledging the needs they are not addressing because they believe they are acting in their child's best interest. So swallowing the things or neglecting what you are feeling, trying to be perfect in front of your children is not the best choice many times because you are showing them something that is not possible, and you are also setting a high standard for them to act, and they are going to learn to swallow the emotions, to not being able to express what they are feeling. So just be also yourself. Ask yourself, do you avoid helping your child because you think it would prevent her or him from becoming self-sufficient? Or do you make up for a lack of attention by constantly praising for your child no matter what they do? This is tricky questions to think about. So I'm going to give you the answer with the last quote of the book. Instead of relying on verbal praise, pay attention to what your children do and delight in what makes them unique, which will be far more effective in boosting their self-esteem than just saying little nice words. Just be with them, just pay attention with them, just have quality time with them. When you are with them, take away any kind of distractions and pay attention to what they are saying or doing. Thank you very much for being here in these drops of wisdom. If you like the video, if you resonate with the information, if you have children or you know someone that has children, please just help me to give this information, to react, to give me a comment, a question, a suggestion. Thank you. Have a wonderful afternoon, and we will see each other on our next episode. Bye.